Welcome to Rising Crime. So, New York's bail reform laws have created a revolving door not just for violent criminals, but for thieves and shoplifters as well. We're going to look at 5 people who combined for nearly 350 arrests, with 2 of them having over 100 arrests each. Let's start with Michelle Mckelley. Now, I did a story on her a few months ago. She considers herself a professional booster. And I did a story on her when she hadn't yet had 100 arrests. Now she's had over 101. And in July, she was accused of attacking 2 cops during another alleged shoplifting incident in Harlem. So apparently, she had been arrested for swiping some paper towels. And when officers tried to arrest her, she started fighting back, kicking, biting, scratching, and spitting at them. One female cop reported that Mckelley bit her on her left shoulder. Mckelley was charged with 2 counts of assault in the 2nd degree, petty larceny, and criminal possession of stolen property. At her arraignment, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office requested $25,000 bond, and bail was set at $5,000. Last February, she was arrested again, and she told the cops that she hadn't been caught in a long time, and she's a professional booster, and that y'all are stopping my hustle. She then said she needed to get a new outfit, so she had to go to work, which meant she needed to go steal again. Then there's Harold Gooding. He has also been arrested 101 times. He's a 53-year-old serial shoplifter. Gooding has served 3 prison terms, starting with 1 to 3-year sentence for an attempted burglary conviction in Brooklyn in 1994. Then he was sent to prison in 1996 for an attempted robbery conviction in Brooklyn. And his most serious conviction for first-degree robbery in Brooklyn got him a 10-year sentence in 2001, and he was paroled in 2008. In February of this year, he pleaded guilty to petty larceny in another Manhattan case and received a conditional discharge that required him to stay out of trouble and return to court periodically. After failing to show up to court, he was arrested on a bench warrant in July, and his conditional discharge was extended for another year. In a string of robberies this year, Gooding shoplifted from a Target store in Tribeca multiple times, all while wearing the same distinctive white hat. Under the state's bail reform law, he was freed without bail on supervised release in the robberies. Then there's Keith Kolm. He's what New York City refers to as recidivist number 10. He's described as one of the city's worst repeat offenders and is awaiting trial for charges including stealing a New York Police Department detective's car. Named one of the city's worst of the worst repeat offenders by the NYPD, is awaiting trial on a slew of charges that included stealing a detective's personal ride from outside a Brooklyn police station and selling it for scrap. He allegedly stole the 2007 Chevy Impala in broad daylight while it was parked in front of the NYPD's public service headquarters in East New York. And then there's Charles Wold, referred to as the Teflon Con. He's 59 years old, and he said how grateful he was to the judges for repeatedly releasing him from custody amid a 3-month spree of burglaries in Manhattan and Brooklyn last year, saying, "I'm too old to go to jail. I'm way too old. I can't do it." He has more than 30 arrests, mostly for burglary and theft dating back to 1983, including 11 from 2021 alone. And then we have 22-year-old Isaac Rodriguez. He's had 46 arrests for retail theft this year alone. The Man of Steel is what they call him, leads New York City's record-shattering shoplifting surge. His rap sheet has 74 offenses on it, dating back to 2015, with a total of 57 arrests this year alone. He says he would walk in with a bag and fill it up with protein drinks, body lotion, toothpaste, soaps, and tampons. Then he'd sell the loot on the street or to pawn shops to get money for drugs. He said stealing was the only way he knew how to get money fast to tend to his habit. Nearly 4 dozen arrests and trips through the revolving door of justice did nothing to slow his stealing. It only fed his ego. I may have been caught 46 times, he says. I can't tell you the number, but I got away with it a lot more than that. Rodriguez was finally sentenced in January to serve until at least December 19th of this year in Rikers after shoplifting from a Walgreens in Corona where there was an order of protection against him. Ironically, Rodriguez believes finally getting sent to jail might have saved his life. He said it was a blessing in disguise. I know that I wasn't going to be sober if I was out there, and I would have died sooner or later. So basically what he's saying is the system, the bail reform system, actually made him a worse criminal. By allowing him to keep going, that became all he knew. That became his life. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to steal this, and then I'm going to sell it and go buy drugs with the money. And all these people, I think, when you allow them to commit the crime with no repercussion, they're not going to jail. None of them are seeing jail time. They go into court. The first one, Mckelley, the female that I showed at the beginning, she's gone in and out of the system so many times, and some of the times they would just get rid of the charges on mental illness, saying she wasn't fit to stand trial. So the charges just go away. So she knows this, and she keeps going out and doing it. She is so bold. There's interviews with her where she's saying, I got to go get myself new clothes, so I'm going to go to the store and just steal it. And, like the guy interviewing her will say, so you're going to steal it? And she goes, I don't like to call it stealing. But that's basically what she's doing. So she's got interviews on TV of herself saying that, yes, I'm going to go steal right now because I need a new outfit. That's how bold these guys are because of this bail reform that does nothing to deter crime, to put criminals in jail, or to make the city safer in any way, shape, or form. Those 5 people that I just showed you combined for more than 350 arrests. And those are the times that they were actually arrested. I don't know what the statistic is on how many times somebody commits a crime before they get arrested, or how many times they get away with it without getting arrested. But I imagine it's probably at least 10-1 on some of this stuff. Because you can walk in those places with a bag and fill it up and walk out the door, and 9 times out of 10, nobody's even going to try to stop you. They won't even call the police. But this is the world we live in right now. The criminals can do basically whatever they want, and nothing happens to them until they do something serious. And these judges and DAs, they think they're doing these criminals a favor, but they're not. I just did a story the other day about a guy who was released without bail, went out, killed his ex-girlfriend, had all these charges against him. The police were looking for him. And when they found him, he started shooting at the police. So they shot back. Because when you shoot at the police, they shoot back. And now he's dead. So the judge who let him go when they should have kept him in jail, his court date was 2 months away. He let him go out on the street. If he'd have kept him in jail, the guy's ex-girlfriend would still be alive and the guy would still be alive. But now the girlfriend's dead and the guy's dead, all because the judge let him out instead of keeping him in jail. And there's stories like this happening every day. Every day. And I don't see an end to it. because nobody wants to make the changes that are going to put the people in jail that need to be in jail. Because especially in New York, you got people saying, you know, these people are stealing because they need a loaf of bread. But they're not stealing bread. They're not stealing because they're poor. They're stealing because they can. For the most part, poor people, real poor people, don't steal. Criminals steal. And when you allow them to steal, they'll steal more. But that's where we're at. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.